Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Friday Ramblings, and we're here for a little Valentine's Day fun. Not my favorite holiday, but I am going to give props to those who do enjoy celebrating it. And we're going to do it my way, because it's my channel. And that is we're going to break down the rom-com good time works of one of the greatest manga writers of all time. That is Rumiko Takahashi. We have briefly discussed her before when discussing in depth the Ranma 1/2 franchise. However, we are going to this time do a brief, just general blowover of all of her well-known stuff, much of which, as I said, does fit the romantic comedy genres there, which is what we're all about, because, as I said, there's a little bit of Valentine's Day props. And who better to put the romantic in your holiday than a lady that is one of the greatest selling manga creators of all time. Real quick breakdown. Rumiko Takahashi was born on October 10th, 1957 in Niigata Prefecture in Japan, and has been active in the manga community since 1978, starting in her early 20s. Her works are known worldwide, where they've been translated into a variety of languages with over 230 million copies in circulation, making Miss Takahashi one of the best-selling authors, fiction-wise, of all time. Yep, even outside the manga community, her sales are incredible. She has won the Shogakukan Manga Award twice, once in 1980 and again in 2001. The Seiun Award twice, once in 87 and again in 1989. In 2020, the Japanese government awarded Ms. Takahashi the Medal with Purple Ribbon for her contribution to the arts. This would be the equivalent of, in America, a Medal of Honor. So, an extremely prestigious award. And outside of Japan, she has received the Grand Prix de la Vallée de Angoulême. Again, apologies if I mispronounced that slightly. In 2019, becoming the second woman and second Japanese person to win the prize. For those of you not familiar with it, it is a... what was it? There's more here. Franco-Belgian award, and is considered the most prestigious award in the Franco-Belgian comic circles. And there is actually a rich history of Franco-Belgian comics. That is certainly a video for another time. But needless to say, basically every country that prints Rumiko Takahashi's manga, people enjoy it. Her writing and themes are very multicultural, as they deal with fun characters in interesting situations without relying super deep heavy on culture-specific humor, which is the key to great things when it comes to international sales, which would be that complete thought. Boop, boop. Real quick before we break down her specific works, a little more background. During her university years, Ms. Takahashi enrolled in... Again, sorry. I have these words written down. I don't have them in audio. So, there's going to be some fun pronunciations throughout this video. Gakiga Sonjuku, a manga school founded by Kazuyo Koike, author of Crying Freeman and the legendary Lone Wolf and Cub. Under his guidance, Takahashi began to publish her first Doujinshi Creations in 1975. Kokei often urged his students to create well-thought-out, interesting characters, and this influence would greatly impact Rumiko's works throughout her career. She also briefly worked as assistant for horror manga artist Kazuyo Umezu while working on his comedy series Makoto-chan. Now let's get into the good stuff. Rumiko Takahashi's first major series, it would be Urusei Yatsura, a comedic science fiction series in which a female alien journeys to Earth and decides to claim Ataru Moroboshi as her husband due to some culture clash misunderstandings, her believing that Ataru proposed to her and Lum accepting. You may not have heard the term Urusei Yatsura, but if you are familiar with the manga community, you have no doubt seen people cosplay Lum. The iconic tiger stripe bikini, green hair, and little horns is no doubt been seen by any convention goer, as it is an iconic character for cosplay. Not to mention, as I said, the entire series is well done. The manga ran from 1978 until 1987, totaling 34 volumes. Has had 2 different television series based off it, as well as dozens of films and OVAs. Good start. Manga alone has over 35 million copies in circulation, making it one of the best-selling manga series of all time. But let's keep going. She would also publish a series of shorts throughout this time, before beginning her second major series, Meisani Koku, which was targeted to a little bit of an older audience. Meisani Koku is more of a real-world based, slice-of-life, sitcom-style romance story, as it discusses the story of a college student who lives in a small apartment complex that acquires a new landlady who he instantly falls head over heels for, and the series covers their long courtship, mostly due to him being awkward, the apartment complex residents being supportive but also highly dysfunctional, and the landlady herself being pursued by other suitors and still mourning her recently deceased husband. It is also an iconic series that got an anime series adaptation. I have seen about half the anime. Highly recommend it. Especially, as I said, for people that want something a little more grounded in reality with less fantastic sci-fi elements. It is a good series to go. During the series time, she would also publish various shorts such as Laughing Target, Fire Tripper, and begin to sporadically publish One Pound Gospel. Her next big work would be Mermaid Saga, alternately known here in America as Mermaid's Forest, because that was the first story arc that was adapted into an OVA and imported to America in an officially released commercial dub style. And so when they did subsequent story arcs, they referred to all of them as Mermaid Forest. But it was originally called Mermaid Saga. One story arc was also billed under Mermaid Scar. The idea of the series is that if you eat mermaid flesh, you have a chance of becoming immortal, but most people end up mutating into this subhuman, scary monster. It follows the story of one boy who consumed mermaid flesh and has since been alive for 500 years. Having grown tired of his immortality, he seeks a way to end his life, specifically by finding another mermaid. And in the process, picks up and befriends a young girl who was force-fed mermaid flesh herself. It deals a lot with superstition and mysticism. A good series, a short one, relatively compared. It's been adapted a couple different times. Let's see, how many volumes was that exactly? That was, it's been collected in 3 volumes. It was published sporadically, but it's got, I think, 9 story arcs to it. Good times. This would lead into, perhaps, here in America, one of her most well-known works. One that has gotten a lot of publicity lately, and the one we've already previously discussed, and that is Ranma 1/2. I do encourage you to go back, watch that previous blog, or we get deep into Ranma 1/2. For the sake of this video, we're simply going to say it is another romantic comedy centering around high school students that is a classic of the two people whose personalities are just so conflicting against each other, they can't admit the attraction everybody else sees. It features a lot of other suitors who themselves will have alternate suitors, and features a lot of, although somewhat comedic, still there, martial arts combat, due to the main character Rama being a martial artist. This series is, as I said, one of her most well-known ones around the world. Had a classic anime series, is getting a new anime series, a couple theatrical films, about a dozen OVAs, video game adaptations. It is a huge film. Big franchise. Highly encourage people to check it out, whether it is the new series or the old series or even the original manga, because that's what this is all about, folks. We have nothing against anime. We love our anime, but the manga is the original version of it. We give respect to that. Ranma 1/2 would run for nearly a decade when it ended at 38 volumes. Throughout the run of Ranma 1/2, Rumiko Takahashi would continue with short stories, as well as the sporadic Mermaid Sagas and One Piece Gospels. We're just going to throw this out here real quick. Many of her shorts have been collected in volume formats under the phrase Rumik Theater. And there was even a short-lived anime anthology series that adapted these Rumik Theater shorts. So if you would like to get something where it's just a small dose of her work without having to invest in a full-length series, I would recommend the Rumik Theaters. They kind of dance around a bit more in the genres, but it's all good times. This leads us to perhaps the one that is most well known to more recent anime fans, especially those of you who started with Toonami and Adult Swim, and that is Inuyasha. Like Ranma 1/2, Inuyasha has a very action-heavy basis with the romantic comedy sprinkled in there. It also involves magic-based time travel, as it discusses a modern-day teenage girl who finds that a family heirloom amulet in her own potential as a mystic, specifically of the shrine maiden variety, which is a big thing in Japan. Her family, having run a shrine for multiple generations, allows her to journey to previous centuries Japan. Let me actually see if I can get pull up my note about. It is the Sengoku period, aka the Warring States period, which would cover the 15th and 16th centuries. So there's your time travel aspect. Good 400 or 500 years into the past. Inuyasha does have, compared to most of the other previous works, a bit of a darker tone to it, similar to the previously mentioned Mermaid Saga, although there is still a lot of humor. The series deals heavily with, as I said, mysticism. The bad guys are almost all demons. The main male protagonist, Inuyasha, is a half-demon. So there is a lot of violence, some body horror, discussion of curses. People do die in the series. Some of them die horrifically and tragically, but there is still a very sweet love story and some classic Rumiko humor in there as well. So it is a series that, bounces from tone to tone as the plot goes, but does it in a very coherent, well-appreciated manner. Inuyasha is her longest series to date, having run from 1996 to 2008. And, as I said, is the most iconic due to the English dub version airing on Cartoon Network's Adult Swim block as part of their anime offerings. Which means, good news for you, it should be easy, if you do prefer that anime format, to track down, and even the manga version should be readily available at most bookstores that carry a respectable manga section. Our next manga series, Kyokai no Rene, started on April 22nd, 2009, and she concluded it on December 13th, 2017, collecting 40 volumes. Good run, bit longer than the others. For record, Inuyasha had 56 volumes. So, it is still her longest running. Kyokai no Rene follows Sakura Mamiya, a girl who gained the power to see ghosts after an incident as a child, and her classmate Rene Rakudo, a boy of mixed human and Shinigami, a kind of Japanese spirit, heritage, who helps lingering spirits finally pass on to be reincarnated. So, you can already see that rom-com potential. Gotta have that rom-com potential. Kissy, kissy, kissy. Kissy, kissy, kissy. Yay! And in more recent years, Rumiko Takahashi started a new manga series titled Mao. And this began in spring of 2019. is still ongoing, currently has 22 volumes listed. Plot of Mao is that 8 years ago, Nanoko Kiba was saved from the wreckage of a fatal accident. Drawn to the abandoned passage of storefronts on her walk home from school in present day, she becomes inexplicably transported to Japan's Taisho period, where she meets the mysterious Mao. Again, for people not familiar with Taisho, Japanese history, the Taisho period ran from July 1912 to December 1926. So, not as nearly as long time travel as Inuyasha, but still enough to be a bit discombobulating. Had to get the right diss word in there. You don't want to diss your diss words. That would be bad dissing. But just enough to discombobulate somebody who does not intend to time travel. But while in the Taisho period, she meets the mysterious Mao, a fellow traveler whose arrival at a ghost-inhabited village is simultaneous with hers, and together they investigate the bizarre events occurring around them, and what led to both of them being in the same place at the same when. As I said, the series is still ongoing, so we're not sure how many volumes it's going to have when it's all said and done. This, as I said, is going to be your major coverage. As I said, most of Ms. Takahashi's series have been adapted into anime format, so if you are not big on manga reading, and I understand, reading's not for everybody, or you are interested in more of those Ranma 1/2 Inuyashas, and you feel like fight scenes just work better in an animated form, I get that. I'm going to be honest with you, that's one of the reasons that even though I do enjoy reading a lot of shonen manga, I do like watching anime as well, because especially things like Inuyasha with the sword swinging and a lot of the leaping around, which is another trademark of Rumiko's fight scene oriented stuff. She loves martial arts fighting styles that involve a lot of large leapings. Ranma 1/2 was infamous for having fight sequences where they would be sitting there throwing kicks and stuff in long, slow to fall mid-air sequences. You know, pow! Very, very kung fu film influenced. Yeah, good times, good times. But what I was saying was, you know, those are the series you're more leaning towards. The anime version, the fights do tend to flow better that way. The good news is, neither series is like a lot of your modern shonen stuff from other authors where the action is the huge selling point. These fights tend not to be super elongated, so you're not going to have a single fight that takes up like half a season. It's just a thing. Slightly different writing style. But that said, that is good news, because it means even with a longer series like Inuyasha, the fight scenes do tend to pace well so that you do get back to the story and you do have plenty of time for the story points and the character development without it feeling pushed to the side and deemed unimportant. It's a very nice balance. So, big positive there. In the end, though, I think we're about ready to wrap up. We're hitting about a good length here for rambling. I do encourage you to check out her works. As I said, Miss Rumiko Takahashi is one of the best-selling fiction authors of all time. one of the most celebrated and iconic manga creators of all time. And as such, you do have to concede the fact that she must be doing something right. As I said, I'm familiar with most of her works. I've seen, bits and pieces of Urusei Yatsura. I've gone through about half of Meisani Koku. Familiar with pretty much the entire run of Ranma 1/2 and Inuyasha. I've read some of the Rumiko theater anthologies. I'm seeing clips of One Pound Gospel. So, I'm not the super hardcore expert, but I am familiar enough to say that if you want something that's got a bit of a love story to it, I would recommend these works. If you want something that's got a little bit of action for it, for people that are a fan of multiple genres, like things be a little exciting in between the flirting, Ranma and Inuyasha are definitely top choices. All in all, hey, millions of fans around the world can't be wrong, and if you disagree with me on anything, or you want to even tell me your favorite work, throw in a comment. Right down there, you know how it goes. We will be back next month with another rambling, because we always ramble. There is so much entertainment to discuss, and of course, as always, we encourage any suggestions. We do ask, though, that you just remember the core rule, and that is that we will give constructive criticism. We will call out when things don't work, but we do it in a positive-minded atmosphere. Please do not suggest stuff because you want to see me rip it to shreds. Please don't ask me to do videos like, oh man, something about the, top 10 movies that just make you rage. Not really what we do on this channel. We believe there's enough negativity on the internet. And as we say, and on February 14th, it's going to be more important than ever. Bring the positivity. Share the love. Because this is entertainment. It's not supposed to make you upset. Enjoy yourselves, whether you have a partner or not. Because if you watch my videos, and especially if you tell your friends to watch them too, you know what? I appreciate you. And I appreciate you taking your time to hang with me. Nothing but love.